Hi everyone, I'm Tamara and this is Lightning Bug Vintage. My general videos consist of DIY home decor, home styling, and furniture flipping. If you're interested in that type of content, then please consider subscribing. I do occasionally post product reviews, and today's video is my second product review for the LG 4.5 cubic foot all-in-one washer dryer. If you haven't seen my first video, then go check it out. I think you'll find it helpful. But today I'm at the 5-month mark for having this machine, and I want to go over some general maintenance tips, answer some most frequently asked questions on my channel, and also talk about water usage. So I hope you find something useful from this video. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so this is the machine we're talking about right here. Sorry, it's a little cramped in this area, so it's hard for me to film, but I literally just took a load of laundry out of here. The machine is still warm. I wanted to show you how much lint accumulates in between loads typically. So this is actually pretty light on the lint that accumulates. If I'm washing like my dog bedding, it's a lot worse, and I get a lot of questions about pets. And I would say it works fine with pet hair, but you need to clean this boot area out every single time you do a load. If you let it accumulate, then what's going to happen is you're going to have fur balls and hair balls on your clean clothes, and nobody wants that. So be diligent about cleaning that area out. And it even gets down in this crack. You have to get it out of there. I showed on my first video how I just take a damp paper towel and wipe it out really quickly. It takes like 30 seconds. It's not a big deal. So that's my answer to pet hair, is just clean this out. And I also do the door every once in a while. The glass gets some buildup too on it, so you'll want to wipe that down every once in a while too. But if you're diligent with it, you shouldn't have a problem with pet hair, as far as I can tell so far at the 5-month mark. We do have 2 cute little puppies. I'll share some footage of them at the end of this video because they are stinking adorable. Somebody did recently ask about bleach and where it goes. I thought I showed this in my first video, but maybe I didn't. It goes right here. It's marked and labeled. This compartment right here is for something like OxiClean, if you use that. Main wash right here. We have the blue tray taken out because we use a powder, and then softener right there. We typically put vinegar in this compartment right here, and it actually works really well for us. Now I do occasionally get some like drip marks. Actually, it's probably after every load I get a little bit of dripping. So I don't know if it's just from the condensation or what, but I just wipe it off and it comes right off pretty easily. In my last video, we did discuss wool dryer balls, and I wasn't having an issue. Oh, there's one puppy. I wasn't having an issue with wool dryer balls at that point, but at about the 2-month part, they all fell apart. So we went ahead and bought a different brand. I'm not sure if they'll do the same thing or not, but I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, if this batch falls apart too, I may have to look into another option. But I just wanted to update you guys on that. Okay, so now let's talk about some general maintenance tips. They do recommend checking your water supply annually. We haven't had to do that yet. We haven't had any problems with it. And you also do need to check your drain pump filter regularly. They recommend monthly, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in a second. But we actually signed up for the app and then registered the machine, so we get monthly emails, and the emails tell us a usage summary, so how many cycles we used that month and which cycles we used. So did we use like the normal cycle, heavy duty, etc. And then it also tells you if it's detecting issues with like your water line, your water supply, or your drain performance. And then another thing that you're supposed to do also is clean your tub, which means just running the tub clean cycle, which is right here. And there's like tub cleaning, I don't know, kits or something you can get at the grocery store or Walmart. It's just a special cleaner that you put in your machine, and then run the tub clean cycle just to keep the tub clean. Today we're going to be mostly focusing on this filter down here, and it's actually really not too bad to check. I did grab this 9x13 and we'll see how that works, but let's get started with this part of it real quick so you can see how to check this filter. Okay, so the door just folds down like that. It does not come off, it just folds down. And then you take this little hose right here, it's got a clip on it, just pull it out and then gently pull it forward until it's long enough to drain into your dish. And this gray piece just comes off, just pull it off. The first time it might be a little snug. It doesn't twist, it just pulls. And then your water will drain out. Now the first time I did this, I had a lot more water in this hose, and that is when it almost filled my sheet pan. So be careful. This time it doesn't look like there's too much water in there, so it's done already. I'm just gonna let this hang out there for a second, and this little gray piece I'm just gonna set aside. And then you've got this right here, and you're just gonna twist it counterclockwise. And it's got some water coming out of it too. Okay, I'm gonna share with you guys this 9x13 is like too high. So the water is actually running all over my floor. Let's learn with each other. That 9x13 was too high, and the door sat above where it was. So that was awesome. I got water all over the floor. But make sure you have a rag or a towel with you when you're doing this. Okay. Take two. And there are actually helpful pictures right here that show you exactly what you're supposed to do. So loosen it up again, like I said, by turning it counterclockwise. And then pull it out. Pull it out like that. Just give it a good tug. And this is where your lint and stuff gets trapped. So I only have a little bit here because I just recently checked this. But I've had this thing be completely full. I'm just gonna go rinse this off, and then I'll come back and we'll put it back in all nice and clean. I got it all rinsed off. I will say the first time I took this out, I had to give it a really good tug. But this time it came out a lot easier. We're just gonna put this back in now, and you can see that there's a flat side. Like right here is your flat side. You can see that this right here is your flat side. So you just wanna make sure your flat side on this flat side is facing down when you push it back in. So just push it back in, and then turn it clockwise to tighten it. Okay, make sure it's tight. Put this little gray cap back in your hose. Just push it on there, that's all you have to do. And then gently push the hose back in. Bring it up and clip it back in. And then shut the door. And that's it. So you'll want to do that about once a month, especially if you have pets. And you can see this is about how much water collected for me in the sheet pan. And then the 9x13 that we try to use first had about that much water in it. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, pretty self-explanatory, and the pictures on the door I think really do help quite a bit. So let's move on to water usage. My family, we live in the mountains of New Mexico, and we just found out that our well has run dry. So we have kind of a lot going on at our house right now, trying to solve our water issues long term, since we don't have water at our house and we have to have it trucked in at a pretty expensive price. So we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do, and I'll be sharing content on that journey on my channel. So If you're interested in learning kind of how we solve our water issues, then maybe consider subscribing, because over the next several months, I'll be releasing some footage on kind of what we decide to do and what avenue we decide to take. But long story short, I'm telling you this because it prompted us to email LG support and figure out the water usage for each cycle, because we wanted to know how much water each cycle used. They got back to us really quickly. It looks like my husband emailed, and the next day they had their response for us, and it was pretty eye-opening. If you're into water conservation at all, then I think you'll find this interesting. So I will put this table down in the description box for this video, because it's a lot of statistics just to rattle off right now, and I think it'll bore everybody. But I will tell you, just in general, that the cotton normal cycle and the heavy duty cycle use the least amount of water at 17.17 gallons. But on the other end of the spectrum, bulky bedding uses 61.29 gallons, and bright whites uses 57.06 gallons. So that's quite a difference, and we did actually send them another email to ask how many gallons pre-wash uses, and we're still waiting to hear back on that. So we're not really sure, but if I find out, I'll add it to the description box as well. But other than that, I think this pretty much wraps up this second 5-month review. I plan to post more reviews as we've had this machine for longer, and I hope that you consider subscribing. And thanks for joining me today. Have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later.